Revolutionary greetings. Haki Kweli Shakur, coming at you today, February 2014. Gonna rock out with this quick video real quick on this subject that I want to talk about, that we deal with every year around this time. Let me give a shout out to all the New African Independence Movement formations, organizations under the umbrella of the New African Independence Movement. Give a shout out to all those. Want to give a shout out to all the comrades, all the political prisoners that's captured behind the walls of these penitentiaries in the Empire of America. One love. You got our support. We out here thinking about you. We out here trying to continue pushing this struggle, man. Just want to give thanks to the ancestors. Want to give thanks to the creators to work with me to get this information out on this video the best clearly way that I can. Want to give a shout out, big rest in peace to the people I'm dedicating this video to, which is Imari, Obadele, Queen Mother Moore, the father and the mother of reparations, freedom fighters, New Africans who was out here struggling, fighting to try to get the reparations that's owed from Alma and the damages and the war that took place on New African people over 400 to 500 years, man. So I just want to give a big shout out to them and a big rest in peace to them. Y'all my heroes. I'm trying my best to stand on y'all shoulders and trying my best to be the best I can with my growth and development as a New African in the Empire of America and dealing with the struggle and fighting the struggle along with all the comrades out there, man. So this video is dedicated to them. So I know their spirit gonna work with me and walk with me through this video. This video is called "They Gave You Black History Month for No Reparations." Ooh, I know y'all like, damn, what he talking about? That's some serious shit that he's saying right there. They gave you Black History Month for no reparations, man. Yeah, I mean the title is self-explanatory. If you got a conscience and you can zoom in on that and overstand that, you know what I mean. So that's what I'm gonna be talking about today. Basically the origins of it and basically why a lot of us don't rock with it. And this video is for the street cats, street organizations, the youth, the unconscious citizens out there that really don't hear this type of information, who want to know what I'm talking about and what is the truth behind Black History Month. So this video is for them. I'm gonna break it down the most simplest way that I can. You know what I mean? So don't get it confused, because I do this for the youth who basically came up the way I came up, you know what I mean? And that's out there in the streets rocking, man. So this video for y'all. What is Black History Month? What is the origin of Black History Month? Where did it come from? Who invented it? Who controls it? That's what I'm basically gonna touch on right now, man. And basically just look at the first term of Black history, man, or the second term of Black history, or the word Black history. Let's deal with the word history. History has two terms in it, two words in it. Take the knife and split it down the middle. What you got? You got his over here, got story over there, and you merge those two words together. What you get? You get his story. His story. His story. And what's the meaning of that? And basically, who is his? Who is he? And whose story is it? And who views are it? Where it's coming from? Basically, his story is coming from the Western society, the Western European supremacist, white supremacist power structure, man. And historians. These are the people that's putting this information out here, who gather this information on the world events, in the world events of the past, and the world events that's going on right now. So when you hear the word history, think Eurocentric, think Western society, think white. It's a white supremacist term. It's a white supremacist terminology because they control that information that is being put forth to you in the majority in the Empire of America and basically across this world globe, man. And that's from the past until now. So when you think of history, think of European supremacy, man, and the European power structure. It's their overall gathered information from their stories and their views on world events and world history from their views. Let's get that straight, man. This video is about our story and my views and my New African critical analysis and my synopsis. So let's get that straight. This is straight African, man. Straight New African. Coming from an African critical analysis, man. So, who started Black History Month? A lot of people want to say that Carter G. Woodson started Black History Month. I would like to say that basically he's the origin of it. I don't like to say that he invented Black History Month because I don't really think Carter G. Woodson would have called it that, because basically it started with Negro History Week. Carter G. Woodson created this platform. He put this platform together and he named it Negro History Week. And this happened in 1926, February 1926, in his days, in his time, in his era. He felt like that the racist European supremacist educational system and public schools needed, since our kids and our people are going to be attending these institutions, he felt like that there needed to be a platform and a program that teaches strictly our history and information on our heroes. So let's get that straight and get that, defined on what he was trying to do there. So basically he created the Negro History Week. And he wanted this week to be the second week of February. That's what he wanted. That's how he set it up. That's how he wanted to be. He wanted this to be implemented in every public school system, educational system in the Empire of America. So that's basically the origin. But let's talk about. Let me talk about these two terms right quick. Because you got Black in Black History Month, and he was calling it Negro History Week. So let's talk about Black and Negro. Negro. What is a Negro? And when you see these terms, if you're a black person in the Empire of America or worldwide, and you're New African also, your antennas want to automatically be raised when you see those two terms, Negro and Black, and especially when it's coming from a European supremacist system and a European power structure, man. Those two terms automatically raise your eyebrows. Why? Because Negro. Negro is a European Spanish term that means black. What is black? Black is a color. It's a term that describes. It's not a person. You dig? You know what I mean? It's not a thing. It's none of that. It's not a person. It's a term that describes something. The color of something. It's not a nationality. It's not a race. It's not a people. Let's get that straight. So, those two terms, when they got in the grasp of Europeans, became Eurocentric terms to me. And this is just my opinion, my synopsis, because I know a lot of people got different views when we talk about this word black. But black is not a race. It's not a nationality. It's none of that. You know what I mean? So, for real, as far as our New African people, we was trying to eliminate that term, because that term is not going to work in a political arena, because it's basically, it's racist when it's coming from a European supremacist system. Put it like that. You know what I mean? Because you don't hear Europeans calling anything of theirs white. You know what I mean? When dealing with their race, you know what I mean? You don't hear that. You know what I mean? You don't hear them calling nothing White History Week, White History, none of that, man. You don't hear no other races on this planet using color as a term to define them as a people and a race, man, when it's dealing with a political arena. And that's political, economical, social, and cultural. They don't use them as terms. So we've been so mind-washed and indoctrinated with the European society and the Western society that we use these terms and think we are talking about people and using it in that way, which is what I'm trying to break away from and get out of in my development as a new African nationalist, man, and revolutionary. So those two terms should automatically raise eyebrows, man. You know what I mean? Because Malcolm X and all of them said it, man. What is a Negro? Negro, man, you know what I mean? It's a color. It's basically a person that's trying to be European. You know what I mean? So after that term. But I just wanted to, define those terms. So it's like those terms don't hold no weight in the political arena, man. Or dealing with the European, or dealing with a political stature, period. Those terms hold no weight. It's not going to advance you as a people, even though a lot of people are like, damn, man, why, what they got to do with it? I'm trying to explain to you what they got to do with it. But let's get back to this what I'm talking about. Negro History Week. So that's your automatic raise your eyebrows for it to be called Negro History Week. Even though I ain't gonna knock, like I said, this video is not here to knock Carter G. Woodson at all, man. Because people was only doing what they was doing in their time that they felt can help advance their people, man. So if he wanted to use the term Negro History Week, hey, that's on him, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna knock it, you know what I mean? Because I'm the type of person, I don't knock no effort as far as African person, an African black person who's trying to bring something positive to move our people forward and uplift our people out of our subconscious mind state and our mind wash of European supremacy, man, and the white supremacist mentality that they embedded in our brains. So I don't knock none of that. I don't have to disagree with all of it or what they did, but I'm not gonna knock it. So Negro History Week. What raises my antenna as far as dealing with when he went to the power structure with this platform is that, let me tell you something about European supremacy, man. They always gonna make these Negroes compromise something just to put their touch on it or for Europeans to control it. So they're gonna make a Negro compromise, man. So what I find out is like this week was or this week was planned and brought forth and established and accepted only because it was around the week of Abraham Lincoln's birthday. It's also around the birthday of Frederick Douglass, which I ain't gonna really get into Frederick Douglass because y'all already know the history about that, man. You know what I mean? So I ain't gonna bash him, but the people who rock with him, the people who don't rock with him, you already know the history of Frederick Douglass. You know what I mean? But the point that it was confirmed and established, and they made Carter G. Woodson compromise to get that shit put into the racist educational system of public schools, is they wanted it to be symbolic around this man's Abraham Lincoln's birthday. So like Europeans always want to put something around their, you know what I mean, people and their, what they rock with. So just peep the game, man. You know what I mean? So this week was put forth around a fake hero, a smoke screener, a fake liberator, you know what I mean, that they tried to push on us and try to embed in our minds like he was a hero, a savior for new African people in America when that man wasn't shit. Abraham Lincoln was a shit to me. So everything about his life story was a lie when it was coming and dealing with our people, man. So that's why my antennas raised on that. Like, damn, they made this man compromise by putting this shit around Abraham Lincoln's birthday. The fake liberator. You know what I mean? The former slave owner. You know what I mean? So it's like, wow, they got the cat right there. You know what I mean? Second, it's the fact, and I like to say, I like to say I ain't here to bash Carter G. Woodson, but I'm just being critical where I feel like he made a mistake. Because one, in the South, most of the schools are segregated. You know what I mean? So there's no way that they were going to fully implement this man's platform into their racist schools when the schools were segregated. You know what I mean? So it's like, even if they would have got it, even if you would have got those platforms in those schools, they wasn't going to really teach you about the true historical combatants of the get down of black history in this country. It wasn't going to talk about all the major figures in these platforms once they got their hands on it. So I felt like it was a mistake that he tried to implement that shit in segregated schools, because, I mean, just take for example, look at the date in 2014. We still don't, in these educational systems in the Empire of America, they still don't teach our kids about our true history, our true heroes, our true African culture, our true African history, our true spiritual systems, our whole get down as far as African people. They don't teach that in these schools, period, today. So I felt like that was like a little mistake for him to do that, you know what I mean? Because it's like, you know, did it help? It helped a little, you know what I mean? Because, you know, they got to implement it into the educational systems, you know what I'm saying? But it's all on, like I said, the people who control his story, which is the European power structure. They put it out there the way they wanted to put it out there. And they wanted to talk about the people that they wanted to talk about and recognize and commemorate. If that makes sense to y'all. That's just the way that's the way I see it, man. So from the get go, these European supremacists had their hands and their palms on controlling this shit. You know what I mean? So over the years, you know what I mean, I'm gonna take you from Negro history to Black History Month. Just think about it. 1926 into 1976, when the United States USG government finally accepted and recognized Black History Month, it's fucking 50 years, man. That's like 50 years. If you add up, do the numbers, that's 50 years. You know what I mean? So it took them 50 years just to even bring forth this month. See, over all that time, you know these Europeans are sitting back plotting, strategizing, like they always do, man. And they took that to use that against us, because they always take from us something we bring forth, and they're going to put their paws on it and flip it and use it in a way to use it against us. They ain't want to give us reparations, man. You know what I mean? That's what it boils down to. They wasn't trying to give you no reparations, man. You know what I mean? So it's like, they're going to use that. So, Negro History Week, over the years as it's formulated and it was implemented, slowly but surely being implemented into these educational systems and these educational public schools of America. It was around the time of like 1968. We're gonna move forward to like 1968, 1969. It was this black league of students who brought forth this Negro History Week to try to take it further to get it transformed into Black History Month. So they took this to the United States bicentennial, United States bicentennial organization of the United States government, and brought it forth to get it transformed into Black History Month. So they took this to them, they accepted. Still took about a couple of years later, when the Gerald Ford administration came forth and finally recognized, just took the 2 weeks. It was still only being celebrated like 2 weeks and recognized, observed for 2 weeks. They took this, transformed it into Black History Month, which, like, why did they call it Black History Month? You know what I mean? Why it couldn't have been African History Month? You know what I mean? They want to call it black because they want to still how they oppressive touch and use oppressive language and what I deem is racist language, because they're using color. So when they use color, man, when color is brought into the picture, European supremacy and white supremacy use it in a racist terminology, in a racist view. So first of all, you know what I mean, to call it Black History Month, to me it's straight, you know what I mean, that shit straight is a default and a straight violation to me, because they was letting you know automatically they're gonna put their paws on it and they're gonna use it against you. And it was strategic, man, to call it Black History, because it's still mentally oppressing you by calling you black. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? We gotta raise our consciousness when we're dealing with this term black. So in 1976, 1976, the Gerald Ford administration finally accepted this, and the United States government accepted this as a month to observe, and for African Americans to, you know, bring forth information about these heroes and their history as far as this empire of America and the people who made contributions to this so-called empire of the United States of America. So they finally recognized it and finally accepted it in 1976, 50 years. So people like Imari, Obadele, and Queen Mother Moore, and all the revolutionary, new African revolutionary fighters, Barbara, Malcolm X, Umar Wally, and all these type people was fighting for humanity and human rights and reparations, you know, for our Ma'afa and our Holocaust, man. You know what I mean? The whole time, you know what I'm saying, they was doing this. I believe that the power structure was accepting things like Black History Month to use against us, man. Because let me tell you what. Let me break down what reparations is. Reparations. What is reparations? Reparations is compensation and for a Holocaust. You know what I mean? War crimes or you know, like just straight out, you know, like from people who suffer from a war and humiliation, murder, death, you know, just destroy people that's damaged. Reparations for people who suffered damage, whether it was culturally, physically, mentally, warfare, man. You know what I mean? Which is our Holocaust, which is the Ma'afa, and the modern term that we all know about, which is slavery, man. You know what I mean? Like every race on this planet has been compensated in some form or another for their so-called Holocaust. And most of those Holocausts, you know, and I don't like, you know, I ain't gonna get into all that old whose Holocaust bigger than the other whose was major and worse, because we already know the answer to that. So I ain't gonna, you know, I ain't gonna sit here and talk about that, man. But our Holocaust was the Holocaust of Holocaust. You know what I mean? Because we was forcibly removed from another continent and forcibly brought to another continent, and we done lost over 100 million casualties in that, man. You know what I mean? And our people suffered damages, man, mentally, physically, and spiritually, man. We were stripped of our identities. We were stripped of our spirituality. We were stripped of everything, man. So reparations is the term for government, power structures, and people who are responsible for that Holocaust on another race of people, man, or another people, period. The people who committed these crimes, because they are crimes. And reparations, we feel like, is owed to our people, because our people were forcibly removed from the continent of Africa and forcibly removed here. We suffer mental damage. We suffer spiritual damage. We suffer cultural damage. You know what I mean? So, plus our people labored in this country. For most of our people labored in this country, died in this country for free labor, and we helped build this country up economically. Because if it wasn't for our ancestors, this country would have never made no money to build their empire. That is what I'm basically trying to tell you. Without the work and hard labor of our ancestors who worked for free and worked for chump change and pennies, you know what I mean? Some of them got paid, man, stuff that I don't even really want to bring up, man. You know, it was humiliation for the stuff we built here, and to get paid that garbage. And most of our ancestors didn't get paid, period, because they were slaves. They were chattel. You know what I mean? So the Europeans looked at our people as non-human, subhuman. So they felt like they didn't have to pay our ancestors to work. So that's why that's where the slave trade in the Ma'afa comes from. The colonialists, or a nation of people who conquered another people and made those people work for them for free and help them build them up economically. So our ancestors and the descendants of African political prisoners of war are owed financially. But that's not what reparations is really all about. That's just one aspect of it. Financially, we feel that we are owed financially by this power structure, the European power structure, and the United States of America, and the countries in Europe for these crimes committed on our people, man. The damage, it's basically what, like when you go to court, it's basically the damages when you're suing somebody. You want to get paid for those damages of a person, from that person that caused the damage to you. Basically, that's what reparations is. So we are owed reparations. For all my people out there, go do research on reparations, because you're owed money, man, from this government, from the descendants, for being a descendant of your ancestors, man, who was encaged and captured and enslaved, man. And this is what our new African revolutionary freedom fighters fought for. This government, as you've seen, has done everything in the book not to pay our people for their ma'afa in the Holocaust. They beat around the bush. They don't want to talk about it. You know what I mean? They don't want to. They don't never mention it. Every United States president, even up to now, Obama, none of these people touch the subject of reparations, because they're not going to get. They're not trying to pay our people, man, for what they did to us, man. And that's a crime. Either way you look at it, it's criminal. It's a criminal act. It's a crime, man. You know what I mean? For you to do that to a race of people and not give us what we are owed, man. And from that, it's a right. You know what I mean? It's a human right. We deserve that. You know what I mean? No matter how you want to look at it. A lot of people think we just want to get money for free. I mean, it is what it is, man. But they owe us that. I don't care what the hell they think about it. They owe us that. They owe our ancestors, man. And we need that. Got to collect that. Coming back for everything they owe. Period. So they take like these holidays, these months, these events, and all this stuff that they incorporated throughout the years in their systems of capitalism and their systems of imperialism in the United States of America, and they take these, trust me, man, they use shit like the Black History Month against you. That shit was created not to pay you no reparations, man. So what's the smart thing to do? Like, here, man, you know what I mean? We recognize y'all as a people, so-called recognize y'all as a people. We not recognize y'all as a color, which is black, and we're going to give you a month out of the 12 months in a year to recognize y'all history, man. Salute to y'all and show y'all love for the 28 days of the short stick. You know what I mean? Come on, it's a slap in the face, man. That's why I don't rock with it. That's why many of us don't rock with it. You know what I mean? I mean, respect to Carter G. Woodson and what he was trying to do, man, but it's time for us to say, man, after that, we want reparations now, man. We tired of your smoke screens. We tired of your strategic moves. We tired of your strategic holidays, your strategic observations, or whatever you bring forth that you'll try to give us in placement of reparations. And that is what Black History Month is, man. Black History Month is a farce. Black History Month is a strategic tactic, a strategic platform to give to the Negroes who actually love America. Basically. Because there's a lot of Negroes who love America, and that's what you want to do. That's what you like. Hey, man, kudos to you. Rock out. You know what I mean? But that's not what we looking for. More than that. And I just want to give a big salute to all the cats, the brothers and sisters out there, man, who teach our people about African history, African culture, 365. You know what I mean? Days a year, man. You know what I mean? This information must be presented every day. Every month, every year, non-stop, man. 28 days ain't gonna do nothing for us, man. Show ain't gonna do a damn thing for our Holocaust, you know what I mean? So, I just had to make this video real quick to put that out there, man. I hope y'all understand what I just brought to you. I hope you get some positivity out of it, and most of all, I hope you go research it and peep the game, man. Come on, man. Black History Month. Black His Story Month. Not our story. I mean, our story is in it. It's used against us, though. You know what I mean? To keep us keep us controlled and to keep our real, true, overall, more glorious historical history suppressed. Because they don't never want to talk about the historical combatants of the get down, man. The revolutionaries, you know what I mean? Like Nat Turner, Gabriel Prosser, you know what I mean? Mingo, Desalons, and all these people, man. I'm talking about like the revolutionary, the real revolution got down for the get down. You ain't gonna never hear about the, you know what I mean, like the cats who put in the dirty work. You always gonna hear about the cats, you know, who kept it clean and who did it. How the Europeans, they want to accept the cats that's more politically correct and who done things in America and give you that information. They don't want to tell you about your culture. They don't want to tell you about your original spirituality. They don't want to talk about your Ma'apa, aka the slave trade. They don't want to talk about the 100 million, you know what I'm saying, casualties or their warfare and their crimes committed on our people, man. That's what Black History Month is, man. Strategic. Real strategic, man. Go research that. Our story. 365, man. Days a year, man. It ain't no 28 days, man. We work more than 28 days, man. And I'm gonna sign off right here, man. They gave you Black History Month for no reparations, man. They still using strategic tactics. They don't want to pay us, man. Go do your research on that, man. I'm gonna sign off right here. Shout out to the August 3rd Collective Movement, man. Haki Kweli Shakur. See the Carlos A. Cook. You know what I mean? See the Gabriel Prosser, see the Nat Turner, VA District, VA New African District, man. I'm gonna sign off right here. You know what I mean? We want reparations now. Coming back for everything they owe. Free the land, rebuild.